I will take a break and pass things over to David for some BD quick tips, if that's all right with you, David.
Absolutely. Always a fun segment here in these webinars. We got a few great quick tips here. Again, some features that are often overlooked within the platform, but highly valuable. So the three we're going to be covering pretty quickly here are how to edit individual member subscriptions, the individual web page options that are within the web page builder. A lot of great options in there. And then also 301 redirects. A lot of you are probably familiar with them, but especially for new users, if you migrated or are migrating over from an old website over to BD, 301 redirects will be something you will most likely want to set up. So diving right on into the first one, how to edit member subscriptions. Basically, this is editing the details, various details of a current member's subscriptions without actually having to cancel it or start an entirely brand new subscription. There's a couple ways to do this. You could just go to the individual member within your admin account and edit their subscription that way. Or you could also go to finance and then the search subscriptions page in the admin area. That page is very useful. It basically gives you a stream of all of the subscriptions, active, inactive, all the subscriptions on your site. So you can go to search subscriptions, find the individual subscription you want to edit. You just go to that actions menu for the individual subscription. You click edit subscription. You could also end a subscription if a member just totally wants to cancel. But you could click edit subscription. And when you click edit, you'll get a pop-up. And in that pop-up, you'll be able to update the subscription billing amount, the billing cycle, the next payment due date. You can also save or add internal admin notes to the subscription. So maybe a member contacts you wanting to cancel and you give them an offer, a discounted rate to maintain their subscription. So you need to edit the subscription and you add a note to yourself, again, for internal admin purposes, just explaining why the edit has taken place. You can also delete past due or upcoming invoices when you're editing a subscription. So this is very useful, especially just to edit the an individual member's subscription price, their billing cycle, change their next payment due date, especially if they're contacting you. You know, maybe they're on hard times. They don't want to cancel their subscription, but they're not going to be able to maintain it. Maybe they just want to cancel it, and you can provide them with a discounted rate to maintain that subscription. And then you can align the next bill date for their subscriptions to allow for any proration or any sort of grace period. Maybe you want to give them a few months for free before their payments continue. And then you can also just keep everything tidy and organized by deleting any now obsolete, once you edit a subscription, or no longer necessary past due or upcoming invoices that a member might have. So a lot of different options here, several different use cases, but a great way to help members out and keep them active if for whatever reason something needs to change with their subscription.
Just wanted to share one important distinction between the search subscriptions page and the transaction history page. The transaction history page is every single individual transaction. So if someone's on a monthly subscription, it's been going on for 12 months, you're going to see 12 individual invoices on the transaction history page. On the search subscriptions page, it's more of a macro view. We're actually seeing what subscriptions people have. It actually tells us the total of like 2 paid invoices from this subscription, so we can see how much was generated for this subscription, how many stopped payments there were or canceled payments if they're past due. We can also see the create date. So that lets us know when the subscription began. And then also what's important is the next payment date. So for canceled subscriptions or subscriptions that have ended, there are no actions. There's nothing to end or edit. It's already finished. But subscriptions that do have a next payment date, we'll see it here. This one is actually, it looks past due. Next subscription is due in 21 days. I think I just edited that one or something, but we can see here when the next payment is going to be due in 43 days, et cetera, et cetera. So super helpful here. And then also what you can do is you can search by membership plan. I'll just again search membership plan 2 as an example. There's no results on this site. Again, this is just our test site, but it will show you how many total subscriptions you have on your site for this membership plan, how much you've generated, the aggregate total of how much you've generated. And then also what's cool are the filters here. You can search for only active subscriptions or ended subscriptions. So actually, let's reset the search here. Let's do a couple more things here. So if you want to see how many ended subscriptions you have, you can search this. And actually, this is a great way to kind of calculate churn rate or to see how many people have canceled, or see how many were created or started. Over here, you can see date created as a field too. So you can see how many were ended over a period of time, date ended. So you can search a month, for example, September. And then you can do the opposite. This doesn't have any, but then you can do the opposite. You can clear this out and do date created here and see how many were created in a certain month. Searching, but then also the subscription status, active or ended. So there are some things you can play with. You can also search for billing cycles if you only want to see how many active monthly subscriptions you have. No other filters. You can certainly do so. Let's just do that here. So this site has 3 month subscriptions that are on monthly plans that are still active. And this is the aggregate total generated from there. So you can play around with this a bit. It's pretty useful, and you can surmise it and get some insights about your site, and how members are either canceling or starting subscriptions, and how those subscriptions are helping your site generate revenue.
Yeah, the search subscriptions page is great to get a kind of a broader view of all of the active subscriptions on your website that your members are paying for. Whereas the transaction history page is really great just to see a constant stream of all the individual transactions that have been processed on your site.
And that gives me an idea actually now that we're chatting about it is for another insight here. We do show the newest payments on this new dashboard here. It saved that order there. Probably also we have actually nothing about how many subscriptions were started or ended. That would probably be some useful insights to add here to the dashboard as well.
Absolutely. That would be a great one. Moving on to the next quick tip here, web page options. So this is for individual web pages on your website. You can control a variety of options for the individual web pages, from their layout, different navigation options, if a web page can be indexed by search engines. And so you might want to go into some of these options, especially if you're creating landing pages or one-off pages, maybe for marketing purposes or something like that. So if you go into My Content and then the web page builder, you edit one of your existing web pages or you create a new web page. On the right-hand side, you'll see a tab in the sidebar called Page Options. And so in there, there's a lot of different options to choose from. So again, this is great if you're looking to build, for example, distraction-free landing pages, because you can hide the website header and footer. Maybe you want to hide the website's main menu as well on a specific page. Again, maybe it's a landing page that you're directing traffic to from a PPC ad or something like that. You can also choose what Google and other search engines index with specific pages by choosing whether or not a specific page is no index and no follow. There's a bunch of other options. One of the more common ones, though, is you can actually choose a custom sidebar for a specific web page. So maybe it's a landing page. You want to have a sidebar on it with some CTAs specific to that one web page. You can create a new sidebar, and then you can choose to only display that one sidebar on that one specific landing page. So a lot of options in here. Always great to kind of just go through those and see if any of those options might apply to whatever web page it is you're editing or creating.
Yeah, let's take a quick let's play around with this a little bit just on the contact page. We'll just edit some of the settings here. So this is the current contact us page. So we see the header main menu, but let's say you're creating, as David mentioned, a landing page. Maybe it's an ebook offered and you want to make a distraction-free, clutter-free page. You want the full focus to be filling out the form, the lead capture form or the magnet that you've created here. What you can do here, we'll just do some easy ones. We'll just hide the header and we'll hide the footer as well. And we'll even hide the main menu. Let's just save those changes. Great. So now we can see at the top here, we just have the hero section. And if I scroll down, there really is nothing else here. So if you're doing social media campaigns with links to lead magnets, offers, and you're really trying to capture those email addresses, this can really help improve your conversion rate. Just make sure you have your branding somewhere on here, your logo, even though you're getting rid of the header. You could still, add your logo somewhere on the page. And again, this is a very dry page, but let's see what it looks like with a sidebar as well. We'll just choose one of the sidebars here. We'll do the member search results, and we'll put it on the right side, slim. But if you can, as David said, you can create your own sidebars, put your own modules in there, and have them load on this page. So now we have a page with a sidebar here, and then our main content is here. So actually, a lot of flexibility here. You have good control over this. And then the last thing is if you're a developer and you want to put your own custom code on a landing page, you can do so. And you can also disable Brilliant Directories, the custom CSS right here, disable default CSS. If I do this, we're going to lose all the design formatting on this page. Now I'll refresh it. And so there we go. Now it's just pure HTML. You see, we lost all the pretty formatting, but that's a plus if you're if you're going to build a custom landing page from scratch. You don't have to do it on another platform. You can have your BD site. And if you're using things like Figma or some other web page builder tool, you can put that custom code in a widget and you can disable the CSS on these pages so that the Brilliant Directories style sheets are not competing with your style sheets for your custom landing page environments. So again, that one's just a little higher level, but it's good to know that you have that ability to turn off and on the default CSS here. All right, good stuff there.
Excellent. And last but not least, 301 redirects. We've talked about 301s a lot in many previous webinars, but like the name suggests, basically you're redirecting visitors from one URL, typically an old URL, to a brand new URL. So this really comes in handy when URLs are changed. Say, for example, if a member changes their name, that might change that member profile's URL. If you're migrating from one platform over to Brilliant Directories, you don't want to lose any of the SEO value from your old pages. You can create 301 redirects. So it's really simple. It's all in the Developer Hub. You go into the Developer Hub, you click 301 redirects, and then you can manually create a brand new redirect rule. All you have to do is enter the source URL, which is the old original URL, and then you enter the redirect URL. So the new page on your BD website that old URL, anytime someone goes to it, is going to be redirected to. A great tip is if you're going to have a lot of 301 redirects to create. So this would really be if you're migrating an old site not on BD over to BD, you can actually import your 301 redirect rules with a CSV file. So you can do it real quick and simple that way. So overall, it's great for preserving rankings. Again, if you have an old page with a URL that you want to redirect to a new or updated page, you can also eliminate any broken links. So if you're clicking around your site, if maybe in Google, they've indexed the page that no longer exists, you can manually create a 301 redirect rule to redirect that old, no longer working link to an existing URL so that when visitors go to that old URL, they're redirected to a page that does exist. And then again, this is really more common to manually create these redirects when you're migrating pages over to BD. And a quick note, something important is if you just started your site from scratch on BD, you probably don't really need to think about 301 redirects. Like I mentioned, if, for example, a member updates their name and that might change their listings URL, the system will automatically create a 301 redirect. So no matter what, if somebody wants to go to that member's profile page or listing page, they'll be redirected if their URL does happen to change.
Yeah, that's one of the smart things in the BD platform because the member's profile URL is constructed based on the user's name, their location. And if a member comes back and maybe they misspelled their name and they change it and fix it, not only does their profile URL get corrected, a automatic 301 redirect from previously was to the new corrected page is created on the fly. So the maintenance for that is virtually zero. Same thing with posts. The post URLs, like blog article, is constructed from the blog article's title. You could edit it further if you need to, but if you go ahead and change that title, the URL will also get updated and a 301 redirect will be created. So why is that helpful? Well, if you had shared the older URL in social media posts or email marketing links, or they just exist on other places of the internet, when people click on those older links, they're not going to go to a page that says page is broken. They're going to be redirected to the new working page that you want to direct people to. Another use case for this is when you're running contests and offers. Sometimes you'll have a page or applications, whatever it might be, or you're turning off a landing page. You're no longer running some kind of a campaign. So you created a page for an offer, and now that offer is ended. You don't want it to be indexed by Google anymore. You don't want people to find it or read it. You can just delete that page and set up a redirect. We'll just do it simple here. We'll say offer one, and it will redirect now to your homepage or whatever it might be. So let's actually see this in action. Let's take this contact us page that we have here, and let's actually, this is about/contact, and let's redirect this to our search results page just for fun. So we'll just redirect it. So we'll save that redirect rule. All right. Now, if we refresh this page, it should redirect to the search results page now. And there it went straight to the search results page. In fact, as much as I try to get to the contact us page again, I just cannot do it. And if we go to the web page builder, I'm just curious because it shows a screenshot of the page. Let's see here, the contact. Yep. Now the contact us page, the screenshot we're seeing is that of the search results page, even though the URL, the page still exists. Now I can go ahead and totally delete this page if I wanted to, and I won't lose any traffic coming to this page. It will get funneled to where I redirected it to, where in this case was the search results page here. So if you try to go to about contact, it gets redirected to search results. In this case, I will delete that 301 redirect rule. That's another thing is if you create a redirect rule, you don't always have to keep it. You can also delete it if you want that redirect flow to not exist anymore. So now if I go to the web page builder and the contact us page right here, it should take me to, there we go, about contact. So it's not redirecting anymore. So you can add redirect rules. You can also delete them as needed. But generally they're safe to keep, so you don't lose any traffic coming to those older pages. You're still funneling them to valid pages on your website. All right, great stuff there. Any final notes you want to add about any of these 3 tips, David?
Just one handy thing when it comes to 301 redirects, like many edits in the admin area, when you do create a 301 redirect, you can also add an internal admin note. Nobody else will see it. It's just you or any other admins that happen to go to the 301 redirects section. Maybe a promotion ends and you want to redirect a promotional landing page to your normal pricing page or something like that. With that 301 redirect rule, you can add an internal admin note to that just to remind you or any other admins on the site why that rule was created.